Well, I think it's the very quick reaction on the Saudis to what they considered a unprovoked attack by the Canadians. They reacted quickly, expelled the ambassador from Canada.
But the question that I have is this suggestive of something else? Meaning, is this suggestive of where our relationship, the U.S. relationship, is with Canada and with Saudi? Is it that we are now better allies of Saudi than we are because of the U.S. frayed relationship with Canada? Has that given license to Saudi to be more difficult with Canada than it would otherwise? Meaning, if we were better allies with Canada the way I think we were perceived to be even 6 months or a year ago, would Saudi even dare approach it this way?
Well, I think they would have reacted under any circumstances because they took this as interference in their internal affairs, and the fact that frayed relations between Washington and Ottawa are a fact internationally now. I don't think that they needed that sense of open door to go out and hit the Canadians. I think they resented very much the diplomacy by tweet.
What's the implication of this? Is it just us talking about it, or is there a real life implication?
Well, there's a real life implication. Given the Saudi trade with Canada, small, given the presence of several hundred students in Canadian medical schools and practicing as residents in hospitals, it has an impact, but it's limited.
For our viewers who aren't familiar with how this all started, Canada has a foreign minister who might be familiar to our viewers because she used to be a journalist at the FT, Chrystia Freeland. She posted a tweet being critical about what she sees as a human rights abuse, the arrest of some dissidents. People criticize Saudi Arabia on human rights because they have a human rights issue. What is it about this in particular that you think upset them?
Perhaps because it was so public. Diplomacy by tweet is still not an accepted way of conducting business as far as the Saudis are concerned.
Maybe she's learned from President Trump.
Well, he's been a very explicit practitioner, hasn't he? Mm-hmm. We're standing aside, at least as far as I can tell, saying, as the Saudis have said, this is between Canada and Saudi Arabia, and they will find a way to work this out.
I think to Andrew's point, though, if this were Barack Obama under the same situation, Barack Obama did not have a good relationship with the Saudis. Right. He would have a much better relationship with this administration, and he would probably have been more vocal about supporting Canada as we stay silent because President Trump has decided that we are back in the Saudis in almost all cases.
Well, let's also acknowledge that we don't stay silent. We have just published the annual human rights report, country by country of practices which we disagree with, we've criticized, and it includes some pretty explicit criticisms of the Saudis.
If you were a diplomat, would you have done, if you were still the diplomat, would you have done what Chrystia Freeland did?
Well, I'm a pre-tweet diplomat, so I'm not trained for that.
But would you have said it publicly like she did? I mean, it's public, right? That's the whole issue?
It's public.
Yeah.
And it's put the Prime Minister in the position of having to say, we will always stand for human rights. So it's gotten more and more set in their position.